If you're thinking about buying a home in the Bedfordshire area, then you need to watch this video. I've got a fantastic guest with me today, a local estate agent. I've got Gary Hone from Hone and Company. Good
Hi,
morning,
Pete.
Gary.
Morning, Pete. How are you?
Fantastic, mate. Fantastic. Sun is shining. What would you say to a buyer that's looking to, that comes off the street or maybe phones you up and asks you, you know, what should we do first? Do we go and find a property first, or do we go and get our finances sorted first? And what's the steps? Could you just walk us through that very quickly?
Yeah, no worries. I mean, I think the first thing you want to do is get your finances straight. You wouldn't go shopping at a supermarket without your wallet. So, what's the point of looking at houses that might be unobtainable, or you work out you can actually afford a little bit more. Mortgage rates are changing daily. And obviously the best rate is, the day you sign up. But I think, yeah, get your finances in line first would be my first bit of advice for a buyer. Work out your budgets, what you can afford. Don't forget, I mean, any good mortgage advisor will go through like a plan, a cost of your living, your outgoings and your income, and just sort of work out and find a comfortable place where you feel the mortgage you can afford. Obviously that will be dictated to by the lenders, and then sort of go from there really. So once you know roughly where you are with the finance, start to do your research. Where do you want to be? Are schools important? Access to train stations, road networks, that sort of thing. And then just start doing your research. And that's, speak to a few agents, register yourself. I mean, we work on a system that we will send out properties we take on first before they go out to the open market. So you can hear about them before they hit Rightmove. And if it's something where you want to be, you're going to get the jump on a lot of buyers. So that's a good thing to do. But yeah, just do your research really, and get out and view a few as well. Something that you might see on Rightmove, you'll look at the photos, you might just skip by it. But if it's in the area and it fits part of your criteria, go and have a look at it. So many buyers that I've dealt with over the years that you've convinced to buy a property who wouldn't normally have gone to view it, end up buying it. There's that phrase, isn't there, in estate agency: buyers are liars. They'll have a criteria that they want over here, and then they'll end up buying something completely different. So just be open-minded as well to where you want to go.
Yeah, I think it might be a case of like make a list, obviously in that research stage, what's a
Yeah,
want and what's a need. Do you need
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, needs and
three
desires.
cars, one parking
Yeah,
space? That's top of
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, they're two very different things. You've got the basics that you actually need, and then you've got the thing that you desire. If you just got to try and find that sort of happy medium. So, I mean, I want a 10-bedroom mansion with a swimming pool and a helicopter pad, but I can't fly a helicopter, so what's the point? So, I'll just accept a 10-bedroom mansion instead. So,
Yeah, and a couple of car park spaces as well.
yeah, there'll be things that you'll compromise on. Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, and obviously you'll be able to help them with
Of course.
identifying
Yeah.
wants versus needs.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, definitely. People will have the needs bit's really important. You may need to live in an area perhaps because your children go to a certain school in a
yeah,
particular catchment. So that's going to restrict you to a certain geographical area. And then it's just finding out, okay, well, then what's your budget? What are you going to get for that? And being realistic. Again, if you're looking for something that's without of your reach, I'll be honest with you and say, well, look, you're not going to get for your money that type of property in that area. This is what you're going to be looking at. How do you feel about that? And yeah, just work from there really.
yeah, and obviously once you found the property, get solicitors involved. Obviously a conveyancer, which does all the
Yeah,
legal
yeah.
deals.
So once you're found, you go through that process of instructing solicitors, and that's a lot of the time as well where sales can get delayed.
Yeah,
So even before you find a house, it's worth doing a bit of research on what solicitors you might want to use. I've got solicitors that I work closely with, 3 or 4, which we can recommend to you. They can give you quotes, as most agents will, but start to get an understanding. The amount of people actually you sell houses to, and they have no idea what a solicitor will cost them. They don't have any idea on the actual process of the point of when an offer is accepted through to completion, how long it takes, and what happens in that process. But any good estate agent out there should be able to sort of give you a brief, overview of how that works and how long it's going to take, because it is about managing people's expectations. we were chatting off camera before, weren't we? And it's how long does a sale take? You might be a 20-year-old first-time buyer thinking you're going to be living in the house in 2-3 weeks' time, or it's not. The reality is it's not going to work like that. It's going to be more sort of 10, 12, 16 weeks in some cases, depending on chains and whether it's freehold, leasehold. So it's important just to sort of manage the buyer's expectations, and obviously we can help and advise on that.
You mentioned a great little, I don't know, it's a terminology that we use because obviously we're always in the agency world. What's this thing called chain? Can you break that down?
Chain? Well, do you know what? I'm going to put my head above the parapet now. It's chain checking. It seems to be a dying art in a estate agency. The amount of houses that I sell, I know the vendor goes and buys on, and I can honestly say very rarely get a call from an estate agent checking the chain out, which is shocking, to be honest with you. How does that agent know that's a completed chain? Are they just going off what the vendors told them? Really, again, it's something that agents need to, I think, brush up on. And it's not just asking the agent below. If there's a chain of 3 or 4 agents, you should be going down the whole lot and getting the whole chain details and making sure you're speaking to the various agents involved and getting the full details. I've done it a few times where a vendor's come to me and said they've been sold, and turns out, they've got an offer, but it's not a proceedable chain. So I'm not going to go and tell my vendor that, great, we got a sale, let's take the house off the market and start proceeding, because it's not completed, but this is what they've been thinking. So it's chain checking is really important, to go down that chain, find out what stage everybody's at, get solicitors details, which will help later on down the line when you're chasing the sale through. If there's any blockages, you can sort of jump on it and try and find out what's what and help out, basically. But chain checking just, to me, seems to be a bit of a dying art in a estate agency. It's
all hide behind the computers, don't we?
Yeah. I mean, look, you can go on Rightmove and see if they've sold and stuff like that, but that's not going to give you the nuts and bolts of the makeup of the chain and how many people are involved in it and what the variables are.
So chains are essentially, you're buying a property or you're looking to buy a property.
So you'll have a first-time buyer or someone with no house to sell at the bottom. They'll be buying a house, and then they might be buying a house, and obviously
it's a link in the chain. Well, we call it a chain because it's a link.
The links.
So obviously you've got an end of chain, which is probably going to be either a bungalow or a flat, an empty property. Hopefully you'll be buying somewhere where they've got they're buying an empty property, or they're probably not even buying a house. It's a vacant on possession, or vacant house, even better. They go through quite quick, don't they? And that sort of thing. So so do your research. Obviously, if you've got any further questions, then you can reach out to Gary. I think we want to try and keep these short and sweet. I think
you can reach out to me on email, Facebook, Instagram. I'm pretty active on those platforms. Or just drop me an email, whatever works. I'm happy to answer any questions, whether you're buying or selling through us. Not a problem. I'll help where I can.
In terms of your heads up buying property alert, which is amazing, by the way. So if you want to register yourself, it does ask for all your contact details, your wants, your needs, as you go through the process. Then the Gary's system basically automatically sends you out before it even goes on the portals and websites.
So we launch them sort of 48 hours before they go live on Rightmove. And it's a great little tester to see. I mean, there's quite a few houses we've sold before they even hit Rightmove. If you're on my database, you'll hear about properties before they go onto Rightmove.
So register on that,
so it's worth registering, and just and we often sort of send blogs out every month. We send a newsletter out to you so you can keep up to speed with what's happening in the property market and any other little hints and tips that might help you.
So in terms of timescales, like you said, you've already hinted that it could take up to 16 to 18 weeks and possibly a little bit longer, depending on, again, chains, situations. Lots of moving parts when you're buying a property. So there's a lot of emotions, there's lots of families involved, and there's lots of, if there's a deceased estate at the top where you're dealing with probate, you've got usually executors and stuff, and I don't want to sort of go on that, but there is lots of moving parts. I think if you've got an expert agent such as yourself, that already, obviously you've been in the game long enough, you've been around enough to know what's good and what's bad, and you like you say, you can sniff them out easier than a lot of the other agents in the marketplace, because like you say, chain checking is like you say, it's a dying art, because You know, people don't want to speak with all the technology that we got now. We have become. There's my dog trying to get comfy.
I think the dog's getting on the act there. So you said sniffing out, you know.
Sniffing out a deal, yeah. We got these big nice cushions that are going on, but Tessie's trying to. She just had a haircut as well. So probably not.
Oh, really?
A haircut. So
Nice.
she's got a big fluffy cushion here that she tries to just get comfy on. She's probably hidden something down there, like a sausage or something. Anyway, long story short, yeah. Talk about property, and a dog gets involved. What can you say? You know.
Yeah.
BBC, eat your heart out. So anyway, so yeah, if you've got any questions about buying a property, then obviously reach out to Gary. I'll put all these links in the description. The first link will be obviously to the heads up property alert. That's a massive key if you're looking at buying in the next, you know, even 6 to 18 months. You know, you got to look at it ahead of time. You know, you don't want to be, you know, you've just got to be ahead of the game. Like you say, do your research, plan for a good few months. Don't think it's going to happen over a few weeks. You might be lucky. Like you say, you might find a house that's empty.
And it's a great time to buy. You know, people might sit there and read the papers and stuff like that, which, to be honest with you, most of it in there is a load of twaddle.
It's all from London and national. It's all national.
Yeah,
they pick up on headlines as well.
Yeah, it's still, you know, there's still some good mortgage deals out there. Obviously, it does depend on the deposits you've got, but there's still, you know, there's still some good deals out there. So, you know, speak to a broker that's independent and they can shop around the whole market for you. And yeah, there's some good deals out there. Have a little look around. Look at some of the slow-moving properties that might be, you know, open to a bit of an offer. There's just, yeah, there's loads of good properties out there that people can pick and choose from.
Cool. All right, mate. I'll pop your details in on this video. And again, if you're looking at buying, then go to what's your website address, Gary?
It's honeandcompany.com.
Brilliant. I'll put all the links in below anyway, so just in case
Right,
someone hasn't got a pen. All right. So
Cheers,
yeah, speak to you soon. Cheers, Gary.
Thanks, mate. Bye.